Yo, guys, sorry, I am late. My bad. I'm a little late, y'all. You know how black people are. I am a little late. Definitely had to get my food before I even started this. So I'm here. We're here. Just waiting for Sherrie to come on. This, guys, is definitely a big deal. I'll get into the story of how we even got here in the first place. But we have a special episode of One on One with Courtney Starks. This young lady is definitely the epitome of what black ladies rock, black women rock is about. You know, she's come a long way, and things haven't always been easy. We're going to get her in right now. All right, my friend in my head, Miss Sherrie Shepherd. Sherrie!
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm cooking dinner right now for my son.
Yes. What are you making?
Let me see. Teriyaki chicken.
Mm.
I got kale and spinach with cranberries.
Mm. Mm.
Um, I got it. I got to
Ooh.
take out the oven. Um,
You
I
made me
made
start sweating.
huh?
You made me start sweating. I was just. Ooh.
No, no. Then I got Let me see. Some bell peppers.
Oh my God.
They're seasoned,
This is
and
amazing.
and then I got some rice. I'm putting his chicken over some rice.
Yes. Go ahead and throw down.
What
Well,
when I don't do it often, but sometimes
mm-hmm.
I get in the mood.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I have to say, first and foremost, thank you for taking your time to come on my show. It is definitely an honor. I was telling everybody that you, like Wendy, you are the friend of my head, you know, and I have been following you. For those who don't know, I have been a fan of you since the Jamie Foxx show when you played Sheila. since you played Sheila, you know what I mean? I have been loving Miss Sherrie Shepherd.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much.
You welcome. You welcome. So a lot of people were asking me a bunch of questions to ask you, but I'm just going to start off about your come up. I know I didn't really give you a rundown on what I'm going to talk to you about. So I hope I don't say anything and you're like, oh no, I don't want to answer this. But if you don't worry, okay?
It's okay. I'm used to it. If you say something I don't want to answer, I just go, I'm not going to answer that.
Yes. All right. Well, so people don't realize and know that you got your start back in the '90s as a comedian. You've always been a comedian. When did you know, like, this is it? This is what I want to do, and I'm going to go for it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. As soon as I make this boy's dinner, I'm gonna give you my full devotion time. But
Okay.
I knew when I first got on stage, like when I was little, I used to make people laugh, my family laugh. But
Yeah.
I knew that when I first did my first stand-up show, and I killed, I said, "This is what I want to do. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is I want to be a comedian."
Yeah.
And from there, I hit every open mic that I could find in the neighborhood. And wait, gotta get poured. Uh,
I
I
gotta
hit.
see it once you're done because my mouth is drooling right now.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay, yeah. So here's the. Let me see. There's the rice, and then
Mm.
I made rice, and then I'm pouring the teriyaki chicken on top of the rice.
Mm, good Lord. Good Lord.
Right there. Oh, you know what? I probably should have put some like a little butter and
A
sugar.
little
That's
butter. I was
okay.
going to tell you a little butter. You know what I mean? Can't go wrong. You
Yeah,
know.
my son, he gonna be like, "What is this? Just plain rice with no sugar and no nothing." I
Man,
forgot. I gotta do that. How you eat your rice? Butter and sugar or gravy?
I don't put no sugar in no rice. I don't think that sugar belong in rice now. But
What?
but I do butter and gravy. I feel like you can't go wrong with some butter and some gravy. I like my rice to be a little sticky, but mm,
Yes,
I'm not.
you got to do, but I've never heard of it without sugar.
So that means that you also eat grits with sugar. Mm.
Yeah, normally
Uh.
I would do grits with sugar too, because it's a
Oh my!
southern
See,
thing.
that's that Chicago, LA lifestyle because a lot of New Yorkers don't eat grits with sugar. It's with cheese, butter, and black pepper.
Oh, that is so funny. Yeah, we do sugar over here. And
Ooh,
I'm
child.
and I promise you, as soon as I get this done for Jeffrey, I'm going to give you my undivided attention. I just got to get some peppers. I got to
Yeah,
get some
sure.
peppers out.
So you definitely are a pepper person because I know Saturday you was throwing down on peppers. I was sitting there like, damn, let me get a pepper. Ooh, child. Jesus, whew. Mm.
I know. Yeah, these peppers, I can throw down on some peppers. And they season too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but
Have you always
what
been
I
a
was
cook?
saying was when I first started doing stand up, my very first stand up show, and people laughed. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is something I want to do. I like
Uh-huh.
this feeling of making people laugh.
Yeah.
And I just started hitting all the comedy clubs, and that's where I met a guy named Chris Tucker. I met a
Mm.
dude named Jamie. You may know him, Jamie Foxx.
You may know him, Jamie. No.
I met Chelsea Handler. Let me see. I'm trying to
Mm.
figure out like who are the ones. D Militant, DL Hughley.
Yes.
If y'all swear to God, if y'all touch my food, I will bring your neck. That's the dogs. Jeffrey, come get your food. It's right at the corner of the table, and it's hot. Okay, now I'm about to walk back to my desk, and I'm gonna talk to you. And then let me see. I'm trying to figure out who are the ones. I'll tell you who are the ones that started when I did Chris Tucker, DL Hughley. I met Kim Whitley,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Jamie.
What about Lonnie Love? Did you guys all kind of meet around that same time?
Lonnie started after me.
Okay.
Lonnie came probably maybe 10 years later that I met
Oh.
Lonnie. She was dating a comic that we all knew. She gonna kill me for saying this. And
We love you, Lonnie.
I met Lonnie when she was still an engineer. She was an
Mm.
engineer, and she was really funny. And she was just she was always with her boyfriend, who was
Uh-huh.
a comedian. And what else am I eating? No, I'm not doing meat. So all I got, this is all I got.
Girl, you gotta put some meat. What you want like a fast? A
I'm
meat
on this
fast?
cleanse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm on this cleanse, so I can't do any meat for I think 30 days. And no red meat. I stopped eating red meat. So
Okay.
I'll do it every once in a while, but I can't do any meat for like 30 days.
Right.
So this is all I can eat. But okay, now I'm walking back to my desk, and I can now talk to you. Hold on. Okay. Oh my God. And sorry for the green screen because I had to do something with Blair
You
Underwood.
told me. You remember you told me. I was just like, no name drop though. No name drop.
Let me tell you something. When you acting with Blair Underwood, you name drop.
That's right.
I know. Jeffrey, come get these dogs. I swear to gosh, they're getting on my nerves. So I was trying to think of women that I started with. Monique. I met Monique. Um, Kim Whitley, Angela Means, who played Felicia in Friday.
Yes. Yes.
She played. If you don't go to your place, go to your place. Thank you. And then a bunch of Yvette Wilson. She passed away. She used to be
Yes. I remember her.
on Moesha.
Moesha. Yes.
Yeah, we ran together. Cheryl Underwood. I met Cheryl
Oh
Underwood.
wow. So y'all were just doing the thing together, just like a sisterhood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it was So we would always take the dogs in the hallway with you, baby. We would go and hit the comedy club circuit, and that was it. So I think once I got on stage, that's when I realized that this is what I want to do. I felt
Mm-hmm.
happy being on stage, telling my
Yeah.
story. I felt like people could relate to what I was talking about,
Mm.
and that is, and and I
Yeah.
loved acting.
Yeah.
I just would go to acting class, and I loved acting.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny because people just sometimes can automatically assume like Sherry's been doing this from like a child, but no, you had a regular 9 to 5. You was a legal secretary.
Yeah, I was a legal secretary. I still can type about 80 words a minute.
Mm.
I was a legal secretary and I did this at nighttime. So I would be at the law firm and then I would go to the comedy clubs at night.
Okay. And then you got your first acting gig in '95.
What was that? What was my first gig? I don't remember what I did, but
It
I
was
think it
that
was
show,
Cleghorn.
Clay. Yes, that only was like for one season.
It was on for one season. It was with Ellen Cleghorn. She used to be a regular on Saturday Night Live with
Mm-hmm.
her dad. I played her sister.
Yes.
Our dad was played by Garrett Morris, who was on
Mm.
Two Broke Girls, I think,
Yes.
and from Saturday Night Live. And our mother was played by Elena Reed Hall. She was the woman on 227,
Mm-hmm.
on that show 227. And I took the bus to the audition
Whew.
and I booked it. Yeah, I had to play. Yeah, I booked it. And so that was one season. And I didn't cash my check. When they sent me my check, I never gotten that much money. I didn't cash
Right.
it for like 30 days until my
Oh
agent
no.
called. I had to take to the wall.
What was the first thing you got?
I didn't. The first thing I got was evicted. So I had to.
No. No.
Yeah, I got evicted because I was in this religion where I thought the end of the world was coming and it never did. So I never paid my bills.
Oh no.
And I got evicted, so I had to move into the jungle in LA with my girlfriend
Mm-hmm.
and stay with her. So I was broke after I did Cleghorn, and I had to work another job as a legal secretary for a few years.
And then when did you get your second acting gig? Was that Less Than Perfect or was it something?
No. I think it was I did like a lot of little guest stars. I did Friends.
Okay.
I did Living Single.
Everybody Loves Raymond, right?
I did everybody like recurrings on Everybody Loves Raymond. And then I got Suddenly Susan with
Okay.
Brooke Shields.
Yes.
It was with Brooke Shields. And so the first thing that I bought a house.
Mm.
Because I got evicted like 3 or 4 times, and I was homeless for a minute, and a house meant stability to me.
Right. Like you made it. Like you did something. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I bought a house, and the day we closed, Brooke Shields said, "I need to talk to you," and she said, "We're getting canceled."
Oh no.
Yeah, and I remember sitting there, and I was praying. I said, "Lord, you know, it's one thing to get evicted, then I can always go stay on somebody's couch.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a house now.
Right.
And what am I going to do?" And I heard a voice as clear as day say to me, "I am that I am. I am the one that is giving you the blessings. And while I may use people, places, and things to bless you, I am blessor.
Yep.
So they're not there. I am that I am."
Yeah.
And I didn't work for 2 years. I didn't book anything for 2 years, but money never stopped coming. I was never late on a mortgage payment. I was never late on a car payment. It was always like a residual check. When I did Friends, it aired in Russia. I would get a residual check.
Yep.
So I didn't work for 2 years. I think after that it was more guest star stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I did more stand-up comedy. And then I booked Less Than Perfect. That was with Andy Dick and Zachary Levi, who just played Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Chuck.
And you played Ramona.
I played Ramona on there.
Let's talk a little bit about this character, because that's, every time I ask somebody how do they know you, outside of The View, it's Less Than Perfect, where you played Ramona. Let's talk a little bit about that character. How did you connect with that one?
I did, and I do want to say something about Suddenly Susan with Brooke Shields. How your reputation precedes you. For anybody who's trying to get into the business or any walk of life, your reputation is not what you say. It's how you make people feel, and it's after you leave.
Yeah.
It's your actions. And so with Suddenly Susan, I had one guest star on Suddenly Susan, but everybody really liked me.
Right.
And they asked me to come back. I wasn't on the set gossiping about somebody. It was a lot of little politics.
Mm-hmm.
And they liked working with me, and they asked me back. But Less Than Perfect, I auditioned for Less Than Perfect No, I did not audition. I got offered that role
Okay.
because they had seen me in a lot of other stuff and everybody really liked me.
Mm-hmm.
I had to fight for the money.
Right. Of course.
Black women are not paid. We're the lowest paid on the totem pole.
Even
I
until
found
now.
even now. I mean, I think you just saw Viola Davis when
Right.
she did a thing saying,
Yes.
pay me what I'm worth. Black women are not, we're paid the lowest.
Yeah. And
And
I even like even talking about people being on the back on the totem pole, but fighting for more. Like how Monique right now is fighting. And the judge is like, okay, I hear you, I see you. That
yes,
we're not. Yeah.
so she'll get to have her day in court, to really lay out her case, which is
Mm-hmm.
good for Monique. But yeah, we're the lowest paid. Even Octavia Spencer, after winning an Oscar, being nominated for another Oscar, she wasn't getting paid for this movie she was doing. And the white actress had to say, I'm not going to do the movie unless you pay
Is she?
Octavia what you pay me. So it's
Mm-hmm.
unfortunate that a white person has to stand with you and say, pay her the money. I don't
Yeah.
want people to think I'm not complaining. As an actress, when we book something, we make good money. But it's like this with everybody
Compared
else.
to like, yeah.
Yeah, like I found out, and Zachary will co-test to this. When we found out after the show was ending what everybody was making, Zachary Levi, that was only his second gig out of high school.
Mm.
He came in making more than me, and I had been working for 10 years before I booked
Oh
Less Than
no.
Perfect.
Oh no.
When I did The View,
Mm-hmm.
what I left making was what Jenny McCarthy came in making. Would not,
Wow.
so it is, we have to fight.
Yeah.
You have to really know your worth and be willing to stand by it,
Mm-hmm.
which is hard because as Black people, we're so used to going, I ain't never had no job like this, and I'm
Right.
gonna lose that
That we're
money.
willing to just like settle for whatever they originally throw our way.
Yeah, it's not like settle. We just, we don't know.
Uh-huh.
That's why we don't know how much money we should be making. We have never been in this position a lot of times, and we don't want to lose it because most of us got family we got to take care of. You got
Yeah.
cousin them, your
Yes.
grandmama them. We got
Uh-huh.
a lot of names in our
That's
family.
right. It's true.
And that's why whatever I do, I tell other people who are doing the same thing what I'm making so that you know what to ask for. When
Yeah.
Cheryl Underwood booked the talk, I
Uh-huh.
told her exactly what I was making on The View so she would know what to ask for. When Lonnie Love booked The Real,
Mm-hmm.
I told Lonnie what I was making so
Right.
she would know what to ask for and what to negotiate because Rosie O'Donnell did it for me. So I
Mm.
believe in women, we've got to stick together
Yeah.
because I don't know how it is anywhere else, but Hollywood will want you to be quiet so you won't tell other people. So, I want people to earn what they're supposed to be getting. So if
Right.
you're
This
doing the same, now don't come and ask me what I'm making and we don't do the same thing because we ain't in
exactly.
the business. But
Exactly.
if you're doing what I do, I want you to know where you can go.
Right.
So at
And
least
I
you have
love
something to aspire to.
yeah. I love that sense of community though, because like you said, a lot of times people are not specific people anyway, are not saying anything. You figure it out. You know what I mean? So I love that. Listen, each one teach one. I'm gonna put you on and help you rise, and we're gonna keep this trend going. Let me tell you something. I love your sisterhood with these ladies. I love it with Kim Whitley. I love it with Niecy Nash. I love it with Lonnie Love, and I love how tight knit you are and how it has to be that way in this type of industry. Like you can't be fighting one another or going against one another, and I love it, especially in these times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, and people a lot of times they don't know how we came up, why we're so close. But I've known all of those girls you mentioned for over 20 years.
Mm,
So we came up together
yeah.
and we have seen highs and lows from everybody. We've all cried on each other's shoulder. Lonnie more than most because she's a crier.
Mm.
Um, but we've just been through it. We've been
Yeah.
through where we didn't book a job, where we didn't have, I remember Niecy when her first marriage, she had a car and And she called me. She said, "Friend, they repossessing my car right now."
Mm.
And she had to sit on the curb with the 3 babies
Oh
because
my
they
God.
put her truck on a flatbed because her husband didn't pay the bill. And he was telling her that he was paying the bill. And I said, "Niecy, who coming to get you?" She said, "I don't know, friend." And she couldn't cry because the
Yeah.
kids were there. So she had to make them laugh.
Right.
If you see Niecy now, you know, she's on claws and she's on this and she got to yell, "Oh, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
see you." But I know the girl who was sitting on the curb as they
Yeah.
put her truck on the flatbed. And she
Right.
was on Crenshaw in 51st. I know Kim Whitley when she lived in a 1-bedroom studio apartment with no
Mm.
money. I knew Lonnie when she got into an argument with said boyfriend, and she was like, "This man had put me out. I don't know what." So Yvette Nicole Brown. I
Right.
met Yvette Nicole Brown when I was married, and she said to me, "I hope you book another show so the other black girls can work." And I said, "This girl is funny." And we've been friends for 20 years. So
Mm.
you have to, no matter where you go, as a woman, I don't like it when I hear women go, "Oh, I don't get along with other women. They this, they that."
Right. Right.
You other women keep you lifted up.
Yeah.
You've got to form friendships and allies in whatever field you're in. You need mentors.
Yep.
That's a really important thing to have mentors. It's important for you to mentor, but you know, you're not going to make it in this life if you don't have really good friends. And especially if you're a woman, if you don't have really good girlfriends.
It's the truth.
It's
It's the
so
truth.
important.
Yeah. You know, I definitely look at your life and I feel like there are so many people who can take everything you've gone through and kind of grow from it. And I know, you know, as much as people see you now, they don't people who don't know that you've gone through rough patches, you know. And I know you know where I'm going with this. So you went through a messy divorce recently, well, a couple of years back.
Two.
Two messy divorces, but this second one was definitely real rough. How did you get through that? And who was there to mentor you and help you get through that? Because I remember hearing about it, and I'm just like, my Sherrie can't be going through this. I need to get down there to her because this is not right.
Well, they both were equally as painful. Because the first one I married my best friend, he was a stand-up comic. He
Mm-hmm.
came out from Boston with Joe Rogan, the comic. They came out together. And when we got divorced, he tried to get custody of my son because I had to move to New York.
Yeah.
And I was not allowed to take my son to New York. My son was a year old. And I was told that if I took my baby to New York, the police would arrest me on The View.
No
So
way.
while I was doing The View and smiling, I did not have custody of my son for 3 years. It was very painful. And nobody really
Mm-hmm.
knew that I was going through it. They would say, "Take a little time to enjoy The View." And I would be in tears every day.
Right. Right.
And so it was a very public battle with over custody of Jeffrey. And that was difficult. And that one, it was a lot of money. I probably spent in a divorce and custody. I was in debt $800,000 or $900,000.
Wow.
So for about 2 or 3 years doing The View, I was broke because
Mm-hmm.
all my when I did the Newlywed Game, I hosted the Newlywed Game.
Yes.
Every check I made went to a lawyer.
Oh my God.
So, and I remember calling up Niecy Nash because my business manager flew out to New York to tell me I was broke. He said, "All your money from The View is going to lawyers. It's so much money that you owe. You owe more than what you're making." And I remember
Right.
he left, and I called Niecy up, and I said, "Niecy, I can't breathe. I cannot breathe. I'm about to pass out.
Yes.
I'm broke. I'm in New York. I live in this building, the Trump building, because back then to live in the Trump building was
Was
expensive."
everything right? Yes.
And I said, "I can't breathe." And she said, "Friend, the enemy comes to kill, steal, and
And
destroy.
destroyed.
That's part of his resume. So we know this. Now you can get the blessing. All the enemy can do is alter the way you receive that blessing, but he can't take that blessing away."
That's
And
right.
as she started, and this is why you need girlfriends.
Yes.
Because as Niecy was ministering to my spirit, man, I started being able to breathe and being able to breathe and being able to breathe. And I just knew, you know what, God got me out of it. I started booking jobs. And I was able to get out of debt and save up some money. Then I get married again. Sometimes you just don't learn. You just don't learn. But I got married again, and that was really difficult because it was so public.
Yes.
And there was a child involved.
Yeah.
And not going to go into that because that's not, I don't want to be disrespectful to his son.
Okay.
Because, you know, even like kids look on the TV and look on the thing, it's just not respectful. So I'm not going to talk about his son, but because there was a child involved, we went to the Supreme Court. We had attorneys. It was all kinds of stuff said about me that was not true.
Mm-hmm.
And God said to me, I was all in the tabloids. He got every time TMZ posted a picture of me, it was this. Yes. They do not like women. I'm gonna tell you about TMZ. They find the worst picture. Yeah. But God said, be quiet. I will defend it. So it was very hard because I never would say anything and people would talk about me and that was
that had to be like the hardest thing to like just be silent in the midst of all of this.
It was so hard, and I really had to be on faith. And at the time, and again, I had been released from the View. Mm-hmm. I didn't have any money coming in. I had my son with his challenges, and I said, Lord, how am I going to take care of my baby? And I'm going to court with this one, going to court with that one, and God said, do you trust me? And I said, nope. Because you can't be real with God.
Honest truth, right?
Who you going to be real with?
That's right.
God said, do you have just a little bit? All I need is mustard seed. And I said, Lord, I'm hanging on to faith by the skin of my teeth. And God said, that's all I need. 2 weeks later, after I got released from the View, I got a call about 2 in the morning from Will Packer. He said, hey, lady, I got this role on Ride Along too. Would you? I said, yes. Sorry about that. My phone fell.
It's fine.
Maybe that was the Holy Spirit. I said, yes. I said, yes. And then a week after that, the producers of the Broadway show Cinderella, the musical, called and said, would you play the evil stepmother? We got Keke Palmer playing Cinderella. Uh-huh. So I was the first Black woman to play the evil stepmother on Broadway.
On Broadway, yes.
Keke Palmer was the first Black Cinderella. That musical went from when Keke and I went to see it, it was only like 10 Black people in the audience. By the time we finished, it was 90% Black people. It felt so good, not only because God took care of me financially, I ended up being in the apartment of the editor-in-chief of Elle magazine. I had her apartment for the run of the play. Yes. But the fact that people came in from North Carolina, from Chicago, Dallas, because they wanted their kids to see Black Cinderella and a Black evil stepmother to show their children, this is what you can do. It just warmed my heart. It was a feeling like none other to see little brown girls and brown boys like this.
Yep.
You know, and
it's that faith. It's having the faith of a mustard seed. Having the faith
of a mustard seed. God took care of me. Then they called me. Cedric the Entertainer called me. He said, I got soul, man. Do you want to?
I want you to play Nikki.
He said, you want to come be a regular on my show? And I said no, because I didn't want to have to fly back and forth to be a series regular. So I said, I'll be a recurring, which is you do a few episodes. So they gave me 10 episodes, and Niecy called me. She said, hey, dummy, we only doing 12 episodes. You could have been a regular and made a bunch of money. So I flew back and forth. Cedric allowed me. And this is the thing about your reputation precedes you. When you're nice to people.
Yes.
Cedric already knew my reputation for being professional, for knowing my lines, for showing up on time, being on time. Mm-hmm. So that normally when you do a sitcom, it's 5 days a week you're working. Right. He allowed me to come in the day before we shot the show, and I left as soon as we shot it. So I never really had to do the rehearsals
Okay.
because he trusted me that much.
Right.
So I appreciate that. So God took care of me. So that second divorce was rough because I wanted to defend myself and tell people I'm not the monster that you think I am. There's extenuating circumstances. There was extortion going on.
Mm-hmm.
But because God said, shut it,
Yep.
I had to shut it. And many days I went crying to Yvette Nicole Brown. I would lay on the floor of Soul Man in a pool of tears, and Niecy would hold me while I
Yep.
cried. Kim Whitley would hold me. I have my best friend Vonda, who works in, human resources. She's not in the
Ah.
business. She was there, but you have to have your really good friends. My
Yeah.
best friend John Murray, who's an entertainment reporter. My other best friend, a Christian comic named Bone Hampton.
Uh-huh.
Egads Pierre, the comic.
Yes.
It's so many
Yes.
people. That Rodney Perry
Mm-hmm.
was
And
just there for me.
it's so amazing, trusting God in the midst of adversity, trusting God in the midst of your circumstances, allowing him to be who he says he's going to be in your life is so fulfilling once you get to that side. But I love the transparency in the moment where you were like, nope, I'm sorry, God, we gotta negotiate some things because this ain't it. This ain't it.
God would ask me sometimes, do you trust me? And I go, no, Lord. And I'd start talking to God real slow, like he didn't understand me. And I'd be like, you gave me a child that
Yes.
has special needs. Father, like I got a mortgage.
Yes.
It's like, I don't know why you talking slow to me. Like, I don't get it.
Like, I wasn't the one who allowed this to be.
I know now at the age that I am, and I would tell anybody this, God don't have no oops moments. There are never times that God looks at his angels and go, oh my, what, wait a minute, how did this happen? How did she land and don't have a job? I didn't know that her man was going to leave her with that baby by herself. He never has an oops moment. But in Romans, I believe it's 8:28, it says, all things work together for good to them that love the Lord
and are called
to the called according to his purpose. So even though it looks dark, he gonna use that. Weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning. In the morning.
You about to start something over here, Sherrie.
That's always been true for me with God. God is like, your faith is like playing chess with God. Yeah. You make a move, God makes a move. Yep. You make a move of faith, God makes a move. That's you do a work of faith, God makes a move.
That's right. So
I have really, my whole entire career has been God.
It's true. And I love that. Saturday, let me tell you something. For the first time, after watching your live on Saturday, I've never seen Jeffrey. I've never seen him. And I have to say how heartwarming it was. You say that, he's not into the limelight, but you couldn't tell. You couldn't tell. And your heart for everything he's going through, for people who don't know, can you just tell the beginning story? Because the people don't know that you were going to pull the plug on Jeffrey. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh, yeah. I got pregnant. My first husband, Jeffrey's dad, and I have been trying to have a baby for a while. And we ended up doing fertility. We did in vitro fertilization, which is they took his sperm and implanted his sperm with my egg. Mm-hmm. So I got pregnant with twins. So Jeffrey actually had a twin, a sister. Yeah. And about 11 or 12 weeks, I was walking my two dogs, and then we had a friend's dog. So I was walking three dogs. And I felt a hand on my back, like push me, and I fell flat on my back. Mm. So I lost his sister, and they said, well, that little one, the boy, is probably you're going to lose him over the weekend. So just put your legs up. You're going to lose him. So that boy named Jeffrey hung on, and God gave me the scripture in Jeremiah 29. He said, I formed you in your mother's womb. And so he hung on, and I went into premature labor because I found out that my husband had an affair. So it sent me into premature labor. And we had Jeffrey at 25 weeks, which is about 5.5 months. Okay. He weighed 1 pound 10 ounces, and my wedding ring could fit over his arm. That's how tiny he was. And he was very sickly. He had a hole in his in the artery near his heart. He had a hole in his intestines. He had severe brain bleeding on both sides. He was going to have to get shunts in his brain. He was having seizures in his brain. And they basically told us that Jeffrey would have a life as severe cerebral palsy, severe at the time, they called it mental retardation.
Yeah.
He would be paralyzed on one side of his body. He would not be able to speak. He had had 3 surgeries before he was even a week old.
Mm.
And at the time, with a hole in his intestine, his whole body was black and blue. With a hole in his intestine, his skin was black and blue. So he was real sick. And so we had to go in and we made the decision to pull the plug on Jeffrey.
Yeah.
So at least he could go up to heaven and be with his grandmother, his auntie, his unfortunately, because
His
I was
sister,
younger, I had
right?
had abortions,
Yeah.
his brothers and sisters, his little sister that was his twin. And we said he would be happier in heaven. And we went to the hospital with Niecy Nash
Mm-hmm.
and her first husband. He was a pastor, and my husband. And Jeffrey was so sick and he was just not moving. And his dad leaned over the little isolette because he was in the neonatal intensive care unit. And his dad leaned over it and he said, "Son, your mom is here." And his right hand came up and grabbed his breathing tube real tight.
Mm.
And that daggone Niecy Nash, as dramatic as she is, Niecy Nash fell all over the isolette. You know how people be acting at funerals?
Yes, yes.
That's my friend. She fell all over the place. She started hollering and screaming. And I cried, and I quoted the scripture. I believe it was the dry bones of God's prophet, of bringing the dry bones to life.
To life, yes.
And I cried, and I said, "Lord, you promised me a child, and you know, you promised this." And I just started, you know, sometimes when you're going through the darkest, you got to quote the promises of God.
Yes.
Quote the promises of God over your life. And I
Make
just
those
started
declarations clear.
I'm sorry?
I said make those declarations clear.
I
Very
did,
clear.
and that's all I did was quote promises. They were all the promises were coming to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had brought Jeffrey because he was only a pound, and now he's like a little bitty doll outfit you wear for a baby doll. And they put Jeffrey in that. And they were going to take the life tube support off of him so he could take his last breath in my arms. And right before they did that, the head doctor of the neonatal intensive care unit came in and he said, "Miss Shepherd," my husband's last name, he said, "the hole in his intestine is resolved. There's no hole." And where his skin was black and blue, it was a pretty brown. And that's why I call him my little chocolate drop. Although he's 15, he don't like that no more.
He didn't want to hear that now.
He don't want to hear that. He don't even want to hear the story. He's like, I know. I'm supposed to die. I did that. But the bleeding in his brain stopped.
Yeah.
He didn't need a shunt in his brain. And we decided, his dad said, whatever package God gives him to us in, we'll take it. If we got to roll him in his wheelchair to the soccer field,
we're going to do that.
And Jeffrey has exceeded everybody's expectations. He's not paralyzed. He has challenges. He's walking, talking. He'll run to the door and go, "Ma, put your wig back on." So he's just my miracle. So whenever he's not like his dad and me. He don't like the limelight.
Yeah.
He's very funny. He's very shy, very sarcastic. So he never, when he got on my IG Live, he hasn't done that since he was probably 9 years old.
Oh my God.
So it made me cry because he was so funny.
Uh-huh.
And when he said, "I know everybody's going through a tough time."
Yeah.
He's real sensitive. So those kind of things make me cry when I see the miracle. Because I look at the Lord and go, "You blessed me with this boy.
Yep.
Like, why did you think I deserved it?"
Right. And like to see him now, you know, you wouldn't even know that this is what happened. You know what I mean? So when you talk about the promises that you said, "Listen, God, this is what you promised me. This is what you said. I need you to show yourself." You know, and God is like, "It's already done. It's already done." You know what I mean? Just trust me. That mustard seed Just use it. Just continue to use that mustard seed. I'm not going
That
nowhere.
mustard seed. There's
Yes.
another scripture I love. It's trust in me with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all
Yes.
your ways acknowledge me,
Mm.
and I shall direct that path. And
Yes.
most of my career, I'm like, my life, I don't understand it, Lord. And he goes,
Yes.
trust in me. Just trust in me. That's all
Yes.
he says to me at night when I'm stressing, because the life of an actress is not stable. And
Yes.
and people see us on the red carpet or they see us doing different things, but if we're not working, we have no money coming in.
It's true.
And when you are a single mom, that's stressful. Even
Yes.
when you got a family, when you're a man and you got to take care of your family, it's stressful.
Yes, it's
And
true.
so many times I'll be in the bed going, Lord, how I'm gonna do this? And he'll go, trust in me with all your
Hmm.
heart.
Yes. Don't
I go,
forget
well,
who
I
I
ain't got nothing to
am.
lose.
Yes, 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 yes. And you talk about like this being stressful, not having a job and not working. How have things been for you during this time? I know things were shut down, things were slow. How has life been during COVID?
It's it's different. It's very. You need some more food? I got. You want some more peppers? You can have some. Sometimes I just love cooking for myself, and then sometimes it's like we in a bad marriage. He
Yes.
walk in the door like, you still here? Um,
Oh my God.
this boy. What was the question you asked me?
Like how have things been for you during COVID? I know you talk about like stress and not having a job, and being in that place. How has life been for you during COVID?
It's been a faith move because a lot of people know that I was on the show Mystery Glacier
Yes.
on Netflix. I stepped out on faith and I asked to be released from my contract
Mm-hmm.
on faith because I wanted to pitch my own show.
Mm.
And that was very hard because my whole mantra in life is if it was all about stability, you wouldn't need faith.
I
And
love
that
when
was
you say it. I love when you say that. It's
that's just what I believe in. I've always wanted my own talk show and I've always wanted my own comedy. I had one at
yes.
one time called Sherrie. It was on Lifetime.
I remember that. It was like for a season.
It was on for a
I
season.
still watch it because sometimes they play it. If you watch it on YouTube, you could go and do a thing. Yes.
Well, thank you very much. Um, and I asked to be released from my contract. And it was very hard to go to Gabriel Iglesias and ask to be released because it was a good thing and it was stable.
yes.
But I said to Gabe, I said, if I don't do it now, if I don't strike out on my own, I will never be able to do it. I will be too
Mm-hmm.
scared.
Yeah.
And he was so understanding. And so I've been pitching my own show to
Okay.
Netflix, my own comedy. I'm working on a book based on Jeffrey.
All right.
I started this podcast with Kim called Two Funny Mamas.
We're gonna get into that in a moment. We're definitely gonna get into that in a moment. One thing
I
before you go ahead, go ahead.
But it's just I just said this has been a time where I said, Sherrie, because I was depressed for a minute because I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not working. You got a certain amount of savings. My savings is low.
Low, low, right.
Um, and it was really hard because you have to get a new paradigm. And I was
Mm-hmm.
really depressed, and I said, but Lord, what can I do? What do you want me to do in this time of stillness?
Mm. Mm.
And one of the things was start this podcast with Kim.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I did. It's called Two Funny Mamas because we have so much fun. We've gotten so many subscribers who are supporting us because we just want to make you feel good with some laughter.
Yeah.
And opportunities have been coming, so I'm just in awe. I'm so thankful.
Yeah.
And so we take it one day at a time because
Mm-hmm.
you get lonely.
I
You
can
get lonely.
imagine.
I was like, Lord,
I know you
I
was.
just turned 53, right? You do remember that, right?
Yes, yes.
I'm talking slow again. I turned 53. I did want a boyfriend.
yes, but I remember.
And you know what he said? I'm gonna interrupt you 1 second. And God said, do you trust me for a man? And I said, absolutely, because I have did it on my own. I
Yep.
wonder what it would be like, Lord, if I set my behind still and let you do it. Let you bring the one in.
Yes.
Let
Yes.
you dust off the one that you had for me. So I've been
Yes.
actually kind of content.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm in expectation. And in excitement,
That's right.
what you gonna do?
Yes. One thing that we definitely we have in common is our health battles. I know that you went through, or you're going through diabetes. You started struggling with that. You wrote a book about it called Plan D, which I read, and it was a good read. It actually helped me get through. And then I know at one point in time, obviously you're not doing it right now, but you started a keto diet, and that's where I got my. If no one knows it, but so this is the first time I'm saying it, but that's what inspired me. Like I had to take my life back and motivate myself. And I needed that push. Like, listen, if she can do it and anybody else can do it, I can do it too. You know what I mean? So how has your health been?
My health has been great because I stopped eating sugar in 2018, in March
Okay.
2018. So March 2000, so this March was 2 years, no sugar,
Mm-hmm.
except fruits.
Yeah.
I started, and then once I started not no sugar, which was one of the hardest things I ever had to do in my life, because
Mm-hmm.
sugar is addictive.
Yes.
And to tell a
It's a
black
drug.
person,
It's a
tell a
drug.
black person to stop eating sugar, you might as well
Yep.
cut their foot off right now.
For real. For
But I
real.
realized that I'm sure you went through this kind of awakening. I was tired of being tired. I was tired of not having energy. I was tired when I walked up the stairs of being tired.
Yeah.
I was tired of trying to smile knowing I didn't feel good physically
Yeah.
and trying to put on that smile knowing good and well I just felt ugh.
Yep.
I was tired of going to McDonald's and ordering 2 Big Mac combos and eating it at 2 in the morning and feeling like crap the next
After.
morning.
Yeah.
I felt like a failure and I got tired. And then I had a boy that has
Mm.
challenges. It's me and him and me. His
Mm.
father's not really in his life. And I said, and he said to me, which is what got me on the path. He said, I was eating a candy bar in the car. And he said, Mommy, if you die, who's going to be my bodyguard?
Mm.
And I said, boy, what? He said, if you die, who's going to take care of me?
Yes. And that was it.
That right there. And I heard again God's voice say, Sherrie, I don't want you to be sick. That's
Yep.
not what my will is for you.
Mm-hmm.
But you got free choice. But I
Yeah.
don't want you to die.
Yeah.
So
But
why
then
would
it
you
goes
sit in
back
your...
to do you trust me? Do
That's
you
really what
trust
it
me?
was.
Yep.
And he was like, it's in your control.
Yes.
And right there, I knew I had to quit sugar. Like I said, quitting sugar, ooh.
It is definitely a drug. It is definitely like being a crackhead.
You know, they did a study with rats or lab animals, which is not, it's cruel, but they got them addicted to cocaine. They got addicted to cocaine for 2 weeks.
Mm.
Then they went and got them addicted to sugar.
Yep.
They weaned them off both. Then they put a pile of cocaine there and a pile of sugar. They ran straight to the sugar.
That's right.
It's that addictive.
Yeah.
And it does something to our brain. And as black folks, I can't speak for white people because I'm not white, but I can speak
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of black people. Diabetes is the number 3 killer in our community. When we get together for holidays, we eat. There go cousin Earl with one leg over there asleep.
Yes. That's right.
We don't even call it diabetes. We call it the
The
sugar
sugar. Yep.
because
The
it's
sugar.
cute. It's a
Yep.
cute name. Everybody sleep because they didn't ate so much yams and pineapple upside down cake. And I saw that it was killing a lot of people in my family.
Yeah.
And I said, what is he gonna do if I'm not here? I mean, what is he
Right.
gonna do? Who gonna rub his back when
Right.
he's going through stuff? Who gonna talk to him about his first girlfriend? Who gonna
Mm-hmm.
talk to and that was what made me get off sugar.
Yeah.
That is what made me start exercising.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be there when my son graduates high school, and I don't want to be in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I want to be there when my son goes down the aisle. You heard him say
Mm-hmm.
he want a girlfriend.
Yes, I definitely heard that. I heard that. So go ahead, Jeffrey.
So that's really, my health has been, because here again, folks, if you don't take care of yourself, you're not able to take care of anything else or anybody else. If
That's
you don't
right.
take care of yourself, God has so many things that he wants you to do, but he don't want you to do them breathing hard.
That's
He
right.
don't want you to do them walking slow. He don't
Mm-hmm.
want you to do them walking with a cane because your joint's so
Right.
swollen.
Yep.
He don't want you to accomplish his will like that. He
Right.
wants you to be a testimony to other people. He He wants people to say to you, why you smiling and moving with a spring in your step? Because my God, let me tell you about my God. So he has so much for you to do. And the enemy likes to throw images of cheesecake and, and I'm an emotional eater. I ain't gonna lie. And I have to go, but what do you got for me on the other side, Lord? And I got to talk myself through. That's why.
I see that.
And this is not easy, because in no way does this taste like a Big Mac or ribs.
Right. At all.
It don't taste like a Big Mac. It don't
can't
taste
make
like
it
French
taste like
fries.
a Big Mac. Nope.
I can eat as many bell peppers as I want, but they don't taste like no cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory.
That's right.
But you know what I know? When I finish eating this,
you feel
I'm
good.
gonna be like this.
Yes, you feel good. Yep.
I feel good. And that's what I have to look at. What's on the other side of being lonely and heartache, and the baby daddy ain't doing this and no job? There's blessings on the other side if I can just make it over.
Yes.
Past what the enemy, because the enemy wants you sick.
Yes.
He comes to kill, steal, and destroy, and he wants you to be sick. And if you sick and you can't do nothing, then he's doing his job.
That's right.
So know that the enemy is trying to take you out with this, with food.
Yep. And I like what you said, sometimes God has to remind you who he is, and in the long run, he desires your all, 100% of who you are, not what you think you can give, but every fiber in your being. You know what I mean? So I definitely understand that. Now, to get back into fun,
and congratulations to you.
Thank you.
What you have been doing? You drinking your water?
Let me tell you something. I can go through now a gallon before the day's over, and I couldn't do that 13 days ago. Yes, but let's get into two funny mamas. First of all, I told you this on Saturday. I'm a watcher. Because you and Kim are such characters, I watch. I just had to start listening to the podcast so you can get more subscribers. But I was just like, how could you do this? This is like, you guys are so characteristic and you're so funny and your energy is so authentic. Talk about that. Talk about why you got started and how has it been.
I've known Kim Whitley. Like I said, Kim Whitley and I both, we had an apartment across the street from each other when we were struggling comics. And I met Kim when she was a comedian and I was doing stand-up. And she just always was, the way you see Kim, times that by 100, 20 years ago. Her energy was off the chain. Yes. And Kim would walk into a room and flash them dimples, and she was smiling. Every man was in love with her. When I tell you, every comic was in love with Kim. The DLs, the Jamie Foxx, the Chris Tucker, Earthquake. Everybody was in love with Kim. Yes. And so we became really good friends, and we started doing the Tom Joyner Morning Show together. And Tom had a bunch of comics on there, but he gave us 2 days a week because we were so popular with the listeners. And I kept saying to Kim, we should start a podcast. Like, we should go on the road and do stand-up. And Kim is so busy. And she kept saying, no, I don't want to do it. And I begged her, Kim, please. I'm telling you, we would have so much fun together. And because we would have fun together, other people watching us would have fun together. And she wouldn't do it. And finally, I got her to do it, and then COVID hit. I mean, literally, Jamie Foxx came to us. Yes. Jamie Foxx came to us and said, if y'all do a show together, a podcast, I will produce it. Come to where he lives, he got a studio. Come to my studio. I'll produce this for y'all. Kevin Hart was like, come on. Everybody was offering. She didn't want to do it. And then we finally got together. Then COVID hit, so we couldn't do anything. We decided not to go with Jamie because he's so busy. Right. So busy. And so I said, but Kim, we can do it ourselves. So we started this, and it's like we don't know nothing about podcasting. We don't know the do's and the don'ts. If you watch us, half the time we're doing everything wrong. We talk at the same time. We don't stay on topic. And to be honest, even with my show, my brand, we go and do podcasts, and it's the same way. We start at one topic, we start talking about apples, and then we get into bananas. It's never, but it's authentic, it's real, And that's what we got. We just have a lot of fun because our mission is to talk about things and give it a little bit of humor, because everybody's going through so much and it's so much heaviness. And so if we can give you laughter to charge up your spirit, because laughter keeps you from being sick. I'm not playing.
It's the
So
truth.
sometimes people think, you know, why y'all always laughing and being silly? Because God forbid, that's what we need sometimes.
Mm.
Everybody has a lane. Everybody has a place in this world. In this protesting and marching, we all have a place. And when you run in a race, sometimes it's people giving you water
That's
so you
right.
can continue running. Sometimes it's people funding the movement so you can keep on. Sometimes it's people back here praying for you.
Yep.
Then sometimes you right in the march. Then
That's right.
sometimes there's people who just making you laugh so you can go another day.
Yep.
And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to just make people feel a little bit at ease for the hour 20 that they're listening to us.
Mm.
So we've already, literally, our podcast, people have come to us saying we want to pitch a TV show, we want to do stuff, but we both have our visions for our own career. But
Right.
for this, I want us to do an HBO special. I want us to do stand-up. I want us to do commercials. I mean, I've learned to trust God for more than what he has done for you.
That's right.
Dream big, because you
That's
can't
right.
put God in a box. So God has already blessed you. Dream bigger.
That's right. That's right. Now you definitely posted something today, which I was like, get out of here. You're going to be putting out a faith-based musical called A Week Away. You got a little woo woo woo. Let me find out.
Oh my gosh, it's a movie coming out on Netflix. It's like Glee or High School Musical.
Yes.
And it's faith-based. And they've taken the songs by Amy Grant and all of these Christian gospel singers, and they remixed them for teenagers.
Right.
But we finished filming it. It'll be out around April of next
Okay.
year.
Okay.
And literally, I help run a camp. And there's a boy who's about to go to jail, and we give him one more chance, and he's got to go to this Christian camp. And he learns the meaning of brotherhood and family, and he falls in love and about God.
Yes.
And so it's singing and dancing. And they told me, they said, we got a song for you. And I was like, what?
Ah! Woo, 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 woo. Yes.
I said, I got voted off a show called Masked Singer because I can't sing. And so this is where you really have to trust God and be vulnerable.
Yes.
They put my behind in the studio kicking and screaming, and I said, I can't sing. By the time they auto-tuned me, I sound like a black cat star. I wanted to go by my album. They have me sing everything word for word. When I tell you, they said, just say this: Bible, 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 Bible. They took the best of me saying Bible, and they pieced it together into a song.
Yes.
I sounded so doggone good, I couldn't believe it.
If you don't mind,
Jeffrey.
If you don't mind, it's going to end. Can we come right back?
We can come right back there because I got to go get a charger.
All right, so I'm going to end this, and we're going to come right back with more Sherrie Shepherd. Don't go anywhere, y'all.